next, we have got our first panel of the day. So I want to welcome to the stage Amy Toman, Andy Simpson from Digital Law Marketing, and Gyi Tsakalakis from AttorneySync. And here they are on screen with us. Hello.
Hello. Hello. Sitting in silence.
There they all are. Okay, I'm going to do some speaking and then we'll just go. So welcome everyone here. We're going to be talking about overlooked and underrated tactics for Google Business Profile. And I know that there are a lot, I mean, what a title. There's a lot of things to cover here. Lots of examples. We're really lucky that you're going to have lots of tactics and working examples for us. So if you're in the audience, don't forget to ask the questions in the live chat, because we will have a little bit for the questions, because we are joined by these three amazing legal specialists as well as GBP experts. So this is your chance to basically pick their brain. No, we go all different, everyone in this square apart from me. So we know that Google Business Profile is and always will be a hot topic for local SEOs, no matter their level of experience. So that's why we wanted to get you, the experts, including the product experts who live and breathe Google Business Profile, to share how local marketers can really win with it. So I think when people think of GBP, they might think of setting up the profile, get a few reviews and then that's it. But we know that there's lots of other features and ways to optimize a profile to improve rankings and conversions, and ultimately the experience for our potential customer. So in this panel, we want to highlight some of these overlooked and underrated tactics. So all of our attendees can have a big list of takeaways that they can go and crack on with. So without messing around anymore, we're going to go round. I'm going to start with Amy, if I might, and then we can all chime in. What are some of the tactics that might be overlooked when optimizing Google Business Profiles?
Wow, I'm first. I'm a little nervous.
The
biggest thing that I think is overlooked is the value of unique images, especially for service businesses, the trades, people who do not have bricks and mortar locations. Well, two things. First of all, stock images don't fly for these businesses because they don't really portray the businesses as they are, but also because people forget that Google can now tell the content of an image. They know what type of animal is in a photo. They know what type of clothes someone is wearing, whether it's casual, whether it's for, say, conservative. So I think people don't take that as seriously as they could. That's my biggest thing. And the other thing is services for businesses that provide services for which there is no category. I know I do optimization for a lot of small businesses in the pet care industry, and they provide a lot of services that are very niche, but they are searched and they do need to be found for them. So by putting them into their services, those will occasionally come up in justifications. So those are kind of my two biggest overlooked, underused tips.
Fantastic. My earphone battery might go in a minute. So if my camera goes off, then I'm sneaking over to get my second pair of headphones. Gyi, can you add to that for us?
I would certainly echo services. I think most of the time we look at profiles like that's very underutilized. I'll say another one that people don't like, and I think in legal it's particularly abused, but unfortunately it still works, and is keywords in changing your business name to include keywords or category words in your business name. And I know that's a source of frustration for folks, but I go yell at Google. It still works. I think another one too that I like to see, it's not so much for ranking, but I think, and they were talking about this at the outset of the talk, which I think was really important, is you got to think about the people who are actually going to interact with your Google business profile, not just the rankings. So things like seeding questions and answers, people will say things like, everyone gets so hung up on like, is it a ranking factor or not? And don't get me wrong, rankings, they matter. You got to be visible, but providing answers to questions, right? You can seed the question and then answer the question as the business owner, replying to reviews, right? So many times you see people that are like, they're so focused on acquiring reviews, but they don't respond to any of the reviews. And so I think just generally engaging with your profile, like it's actually a customer service channel, I think that's a good kind of mindset to have for GBP.
For sure. Andy.
Hello. Well, I'm actually, that was, I don't know where he is. He's there. That was Gyi. I'm going to jump on what Gyi was talking about with the Q&As, because I know some of the viewers watching now might not even realize there's this little tip. And this is one thing I check. So let me just show you something. Present, share screen, share. Hopefully. The classic question is, can you see my screen?
Not yet.
Oh, so what have I not done? What little button have I not? Oh, I'll tell you what, I'll actually choose which window to share, shall I? There you go. That always helps. So I want to get us off. So now can you see my screen?
Yeah.
Yes.
Phew. So going back to what Gyi was just saying, some of this, your profile on the right-hand side here, people have asked 10 questions. There's actually 10 questions people have asked, and you have to click to see them. Now, this question, this site, this isn't a client. This is just a local lawyer near me, but you do see this a lot on people's business listings, where this company has actually seeded the questions and answered the questions. So you can quite obviously tell that the company have planted some of these questions that have been asked there. But the problem is you can't actually see the questions on the profile itself when you first look at the business profile. For example, so this one here, you can actually see one of the questions being displayed. Is this making sense? Yes? Yes. And the quick, thank you, Amy. Thank you, teammate. So it's what I'm getting round to is it's very easy to show a question and answer on your profile. And you might want to choose one of your best questions to actually show visually on your profile without actually having to click on see all questions. And the easy way of doing that is the way you get a question to display on your profile is to give a question 3 likes. So if a question gets 3 or more likes, the main one will display on your profile. Did that make sense? So if you want a question to appear, just give it 3 thumbs up, is what I'm basically saying.
Yes. Oh, I really want to ask a question now because I'm not sure if I'm allowed. If you unliked something, can you swap those around? So what? So you can play with the I want that question listing. Like if it was a seasonal question. I bet it's back to the old classic. You test it and see what happens. Okay, I wasn't supposed to ask any questions, but I had to. But unfortunately, it only shows one Q&A. It only shows one question. So try and choose your best one, I guess. Okay. But it's dead easy, you know. I know I don't know about you, but I've got more than 3 Google accounts, so I just thumb. So if I go to a client's account and see that none of their questions are appearing, I'll just thumb it 3 times, and then within 30 seconds, that question is then appearing on that person's profile. Brilliant. Anyway, that's enough of sharing those. That was brilliant. Thank you, Andy. It's nice to. We got there eventually. Sorry about that. That was a So that's just a little tip about getting your Q&A. So yeah, cool. All right, we got another question. Which are the best ways to optimize for visibility? Does anyone want to take that first? Gyi?
Optimize for visibility. So I'm big on links. I still local
Meh.
links. Yeah, meta links. I don't know what else to say. All things being equal, right? Like everybody can do most of the stuff to their profile. Everybody can add images. Everybody can add video testimonials. Everybody can seed Q&As. Everybody can adjust their categories. Everybody can change their business name to include keywords. It's hard to get local links. It's hard to get like really good local links. And again, I don't work at Google. I'm not a search engineer, but I'll tell you, when we get good local links, all of a sudden you start seeing the listings show up in the local pack, just time and again. And so I out of the three big factors, relevance, distance, prominence, not a ton you can do for distance. Although, that's another one too. It's probably underutilized if you have the budget for it, is being very mindful and strategic about where you open office locations. As you're growing your business, like think about where you're going to sign those leases. That's a huge one for the distance thing, but it's, most of our work is in prominence. I mean, most of it is in the stuff that makes the traditional local SEO you'd think about, in my experience. And so if I was going to just cut my rant off, I would say links.
Love it. Links. Thank you.
Sorry, Gyi, have you got three go-to? Have you got not three, but just have you got go-to links that are easy for people to get, or a good starting point for people?
Yeah, and so for me, like I don't focus on any of the traditional like link metrics. Like you can forget about domain authority and page authority. You can forget about follow versus no follow. Don't worry about it. Focus on topical and geographic relevance. And so, I always say, like, people are like, well, what's the most relevant site? Well, go look at the sites that rank for a query, because guess what? Google thinks those are the most relevant and popular pages for that query, because that's how they're sorting them. Now, of course, all of your competitors show up there. They're not going to link to you. And so, modified queries, but industry-specific directories, those are a no-brainer, right? So in legal, still getting links from, a lot of them are free listings. If you can publish on a site that is covering your topic, if you can publish on a, even local blogger sites, people will frown upon like this whole concept of guest posting. And believe me, I get the emails too, and I know it's abused. But if you've got like a real blogger in your community who's like covering your local community, really, really powerful. Local news sites, right? So if you create some piece of, you see a lot of these lawyers, they do like these dangerous intersection maps and like other kind of like super hyper local content. Well, the local news picks that stuff up because people care about it. Local schools, if you do speaking engagements at your local high school. And then the other thing I like to tell people is the best local link building tool is Google Maps. Go poll the local businesses around yours in Google Maps and find ways to do sponsorships and content partnerships with local businesses. Your local pizza shop, right? That can be a place where not only is it good from like a ranking standpoint, but it's also good from like people actually go and they buy pizza from these places. And so you might actually get some visibility for your business there too.
Perfect. Thank you. Anything to add there from our other two illustrious panel members?
Definitely not on the link. Definitely not on the link building side of things.
Amy's got a linking whiz. She's got some stuff for us.
I wish. Links are not my forte, but I will say, kind of the obvious one, the elephant in the room: ratings. The number of ratings, the content of ratings, that you're getting ratings at all. Right now, Google has, they are trying to fight spam. So reviews don't always, when somebody posts, it doesn't always get posted. And ones that have been there for a while may now get filtered out. People think, oh, my reviews have been there. No, they get filtered out. Not only that, I keep posting, like tweeting about this. Don't forget that starting in December, if somebody started a Google account just to leave you a review and they haven't touched that account in over 2 years, Google is going in December to start deleting those accounts. And anything that's connected with them, anything from reviews to, just anything. So reviews are really important. not only for them, well, the big thing is for them showing up, first of all, because like I said, it's been a bit problematic recently. If your reviews are not showing up, you need to report that to go to support. And then if support can't do it, you can go onto the forum, especially if there are reviews that were there. Like I had 30 last night, I woke up this morning with 20. Google can sometimes return those. But reviews are a big deal because I have seen some businesses, some areas where most businesses will have 40, 50, 60 reviews. And then you'll get that one outlier who's been around for a while and has been really good at it and will have 250 reviews. So for almost any search term, they will come up first purely by merit of having that number of reviews and obviously having a, positive rating, I should say. So
fabulous. Fabulous. Thank you. All right, Andy.
Which brings me on to how an easy way of getting clients to leave you reviews, which was my other little tip. And we do this for clients. And unfortunately, it means me sharing my screen again. But this time, so it is the use of QR codes that you can have on your reception desk or back of the shop or on the wall. Leave us a review, scan this QR code. Everybody panics like, oh, we're going to have to pay for that. QR codes are really easy to create. And let me show you, hopefully, share my screen, choose which screen. I want to choose that one, share, come off there. Bitly, can you see that?
Yes.
Can you see so Bitly create QR codes, and you can do this in your free Bitly account. Ooh. Using your Google account, whatever. So you go to QR codes and you can say create new QR code. So what's the destination URL? So you go to BrightLocal's fantastic link review generator tool thingy. It will drop in any minute now. Here we go. I use this all the time. So got to use Folly Farm.
Oh, yeah, yay.
So let's say Claire wants to get some more reviews and create a 6 foot by 6 foot QR code that she can stick on the wall. So
on
this is the on a giraffe. You could do a QR code with a pattern of no. So you can copy the link. So I've copied it 3 times for whatever reason. You can pop it in there. You can say Folly Farm QR. And you can also create a Bitly short link, Folly Farm QR, so you know what it's related to. And then it's worked. Create QR code. And then you have a QR code, which you can download as PNG. So if anybody wants to scan that right now, I'm not going to do it, but that will take you to the Google listing for Folly Farms and open up immediately in the review section. So they can just leave the star and a comment. So I'll just leave that. So that's what we use this for clients all the time. They say, Andy, what's a quick way of getting reviews? And this is, and then you can track how many people have actually used that QR code or that or the link in your Bitly account. So that was a good little segue. Let me stop.
Can I add a proviso in there? Just be careful that when you post that, you're not saying, leave us a review and we will give you, because you just want to make sure that that's not a part of what you do for Google. Yeah,
for sure. Okay, so we've looked at visibility. We have looked at that, and now we're going to think about optimizing for conversion. So what are the things that we can do to move that person closer to choosing us as a provider of services? Who wants to go first?
I'll go.
Yes.
It's so people don't think about this one so much. Maybe this could be an underutilized one too, but is the same point that's being made about the reviews. Create graphical representations of reviews as images. So you take a review and turn it into a little graphic and then add it as an image. Do this, encourage people to leave video testimonials. because that's what people care about, right? Amazon trained us to rate everything from lawyers to socks based on reviews and testimonials. And so in more ways that you can find to marshal the evidence of your reputation for great service, great products, that helps conversion a ton. A couple other ones that we think about a lot, especially if you're a service-based business, extend your hours of operation, because I can't tell you how many, if you got customers or clients that aren't shopping for you during your business hours, it's going to show closed. And we see this all the time too with LSAs. Like, people are paying, I guess you're not paying because it's a lead, but even when there's like the ads that come up in the local map pack, you're advertising that you're closed. Don't do that, right? It doesn't make sense. So, really, to me, it's about finding ways to include more reviews in your profiles. I think there's clever ways, even in terms of seeding your Q&A, to be able to motivate people to take action and convert. And in posts, right? You can do all sorts of things like that. This other thing too is that if you have a brand that people are searching on, most of the visibility you're going to get is on brand traffic. So it's really, to me, it's such an overlooked thing to even be thinking about conversion at all, right? So extend those hours. Thinking about things like your category can make a difference. That's a ranking factor too. But from a conversion standpoint, in legal, we see this all the time where if the category doesn't match the query, someone might not even think you do the thing that the service you provide, in which case they're not going to contact you. So be mindful of that from a conversion standpoint too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Great points. Thank you. And the rest of our illustrious panel.
I was going to say, if you've got video reviews or any video format about the company, then you can also put that on your photos. You can upload to the photo section, as long as you keep the length. Doesn't matter. I know we've not said the names yet. Sterling Sky and Darren Shaw from White Spark had. It's not the video size of the file. It's not the length of the file. It's not the length of the video that matters. It's the size of the file. So if you keep your video under 78 megabytes, you can upload a 30. Maybe that might be a bit too long. A 5-10 minute video into your photo section. You can also upload videos in your posts. So again, as Gyi was saying, if you look for if you're getting found for brand search and your GBP listing is appearing for your brand, you've already got your videos there, your testimonial videos, your review videos, etc., on your profile. So videos is a big one for me.
Mm-hmm. Amy?
On a very broad scale, filling out your listing completely. Don't have any fields that are empty. If everything from your address, whether it should show or not, phone number, keep all information accurate. If they offer you a field, if all of a sudden out of nowhere they're offering you services, add them. We haven't brought it up yet, but I'll broach the subject. If products are currently offered, use them. Try to use anything that they offer you. Fill it out. And the big thing I also point out to people, besides hours, and I have had people actually tell me what Gyi was mentioning about hours, that they got business because they were listed as open at 10 p.m. and no one else was. But I would also mention the appointment link, because in my mind, people reach out in different ways. There's also chat. Some people will prefer to do a chat and see if they get a response. Other people want to just go straight on and set up an appointment. Other people just want to call and just get the information right now. So by having all of your information filled out, complete, and current, I think that helps also, as opposed to, I don't know if you've ever seen them where somebody will have the name of their business, a phone number, and then all it will say, in the US at least, is the town and the state. That doesn't help. Really, sometimes people will be put off by that. So I would say filling out the listing completely, and especially hours, and having that appointment link filled in.
Brilliant. Great points. And It's funny that you mentioned products there, Amy, because it's a segue into our next question. It's almost like we planned it. We've recently seen changes in products and services, and some users have lost access to products. What do marketers need to know about the difference in products and products? And how should we start leveraging services if this is the case, if that makes sense?
Well, I'll go there.
I was going to say, Amy, you go, because I know you've got a bit to say on this.
I've got a lot to say on this. I have always hoped that instead of, for service businesses like attorneys, like I don't know, dog walkers, people who don't have bricks and mortar locations and who don't actually sell, solid items. I have always wished that they could somehow create something similar to products. Who knows if that's ever going to happen, but you never know. But I would like to say that if products are gone, I'd say the two things that really should be optimized are services and posts. Posts because they are more visual, and products, services, because you can then start adding, because right now I don't advise people to fill in the descriptions on services because nobody looks at them, but also because they're not pulled in justifications, whereas the title of a service is. So I think that if we start optimizing those a little bit more, the services a little bit more in lieu of products, it might help. Like I said, I kind of hold out hope, but.
And services are a ranking factor. I think Gyi might have mentioned that.
Services are a ranking factor. Not only that, again, I'd like to say that, or what I said earlier, services are a great place to mention for when you provide a service for which there is not a matching category.
For sure. Gyi, have you got anything to add on that one? The products versus services versus products versus services versus products?
I think Amy covered it pretty well. And again, I think and this is another theme that has come up a bunch of times, but you come to conferences, you read blog posts, you watch videos, test your own stuff, right? Because there's so many times, even in our experience, I can tell you that there's you do something that's quote unquote best practice and it works over here and the opposite works somewhere else. And so I'll just be mindful of that in all of this stuff, but particularly with things like categories, services, test Google business profile posts, because that's a huge one that it's another underutilized one, but you can get so much great feedback about what your audience cares about in terms of clicks on posts, because you can add UTM parameters and isolate those things in Search Console and analytics data. And so you can see oh, these are the types of posts that are really resonating from GBP, and just so much insight in those posts.
For sure. We are going to go to the Q&A from all of our listeners, because people have got a lot of questions for you and we've got 10 minutes. So we're going to go straight into those questions because people want to take the chance to get into your brain. So let's see some of those questions up here. It's a scary place, but also it's an amazing place. Let's think about stock photos. What about the website for the GBP? I'm not sure what that means. Maybe the person is talking about one of the Google's websites. Can you use stock photos? Does Google care?
Well, you can always use stock images. What you can do versus what you should do, you can add those add stock images. You can do it on your website. You can do it on the Google listing, which then ends up going on to, if you're talking about the free Google website, you can do that. But again, you want to be in control of how your business is portrayed. Also, now that we have the Vision AI tool, we can also see what Google sees in the photos that we post. So you can do it. Like I said, I'm a big advocate for not using stock images for the most part, especially on your Google listing.
Yeah, I'm with Amy on that. I'm empathetic, right? You don't have a budget to have professional photos taken. Just pull out your phone and take some pictures, because It's the authenticity is the problem, right? So who cares about what Google thinks? It's the people that are coming and looking at your profile. And if it's like, people want to know who they're doing business with, especially in the professional services category. But you'd be surprised, even in product businesses, like people want to know the story. Like, why did you start this business? Why are your products better than something else? And like when you add stock images, it just takes away from the whole experience. It just doesn't feel real.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And Harmony mentioned it this morning, I think, in her talk for Local Eat, showing a picture of you doing the job is better than a stupid stock photograph of a pretty lady cleaning her floor or whatever.
We'll forget all of that bit, Andy. We won't think about that. Okay, none of that at all. But yeah, it's people. Got to think about your end user. Do they want to look at a stock image of a bunch of lawyers sort of going like this over the desks? No, they don't. They want to see real people. And Harmony brought that up, and lots of people bring that up. Think of ourselves as the users. What do we want to see? Let's have, we got a question from Mark. Video content ideas, or I feel this, it's hard to get clients to put forth the effort. I'd love a technique to put together video content without too much work on the client side. Any ideas for easy ways to make video for clients?
I've got a dead easy one, which I talked about just a few weeks ago, making short videos of still images. So you've got a nice high quality stock image. Not a stock image. And you can create like a slow zoom example. You can just use, so you can use a flat photograph and add a bit of a zoom or a pan or upload that 7-10 seconds just to make, again, it catches the user eye. They might see some movement in the photographs. We know that videos are auto played when people look at the GBP profiles on mobile. So very easy. No voiceover. You can add music if you want, but so.
Here's another one is just read your written testimonials yourself on a video, right? I just wanted to say thank you so much for this testimonial. Read the testimonial. They're kind of like Jimmy Kimmel reads his tweets and stuff. You can do that. You can have clients or customers that have left testimonials in other places. You can read those on video. You can do, I think Andy's got a great point too. You can use, like, I love Descript. You can do Descript will do voiceover, and you can add stuff to it with images and stuff, but turn those written testimonials into video. I think beyond just the client stuff, quick videos that talk about like why you started your business, who you help, how you help, why you're uniquely qualified to help, telling stories that demonstrate your experience and expertise, like great opportunity for video content. Just, the same thing you'd be doing for like a YouTube short, just make sure you're uploading those to your Google business profile too.
Yeah, I love that. It's like what Azim was touching on as well, is just making these little bite-sized pieces that can be repurposed across the channels. Sorry, Andy.
Yeah, no, I was just going to say, I've uploaded some videos to businesses, and the amount of views that they get compared to the photographs, it's night and day. You know what I mean? They get thousands as opposed to just a few hundred. The videos are seen to get more exposure. So
yeah. So for sure, get at least one out there and see what happens.
Yeah.
Let's have the next question. We've got 5 minutes left. Kerry Ann asks, Google seems very sensitive with changing profile details and then requiring new verification. Yes, Amy. Is there a way to avoid setting off that flag? We'll go to you, Amy.
Yes. I'll just leave it there. Yeah.
Brilliant. So next question. No, not really. Amy, what's the answer?
The answer is do not change too many elements at one time, and do your legwork first. Make sure that you have, first of all, before you do anything, make sure that your paperwork matches the new information you're putting out. If you're changing your business name, do not do it until you have paperwork that matches. Same thing with your address. Then once you have that, then you start updating all your information online. You go to your directories, socials, your website. You want all the information that you're about to put into your Google listing seen elsewhere, and leave it for a couple days, right? So that it gets distributed out. Because the reason for this is because when you put this information in there, and I have spoken to, like, posted to tons of businesses, and nobody ever comes back. Once I say this, they ever come back because it works. Is that Google looks to verify your information. So if you put all the paperwork out there and you do all this information, you make sure that there's no question. It's almost like I'm putting it on Google just because I have it everywhere else. Once you do that, there's a really strong possibility, depending on what you're trying to do, that Google will accept it and verify it without having you do much more. That's obviously it's inconsistent, but I found that has really, really worked really well this year.
I love that. It's just people forget that, and that is just such a top tip. Thank you very, very much. Has anyone else got anything to add on that one, or should we go to the next one?
No, for me, I just listen to what Amy said on things like that. Get your basically get all your ducks in a row. Get all your ducks in a row. Get your paperwork. If you know you're changing your business name, just make sure that you got your paperwork. The quicker you've got that ready, the quicker Google can turn it around and get you back live and verified again.
Don't change anything if you don't, unless you have to. That's my mantra.
Yeah, totally. And don't do it in your busy season. It's like, yeah, I need to change this. No. When does it get quiet? We'll sort it out then while we lose the listing and then have to re-verify it. Okay, let's have another question. When you say a graphical representation of reviews, where is the best place to put those images? To Gyi, because that was your suggestion, I think.
Yeah, you can just add them as photos, and you can use them as in posts, right? Those are the two places that you can add images, and so that's where I would add them.
Yeah, for sure. Brilliant. Another question. I think we've got a minute or two. This, I think, will be the last one. Diana asks, what types of GBP posts have you found to resonate the most or to be the most impactful? Let me know. Who's going to answer this?
I'll go. You can do, I think, discounts, right? So if you offer a discount or some kind of special offer, those are really good in posts. Highlighting testimonials and reviews in posts. I think people want to see that stuff. We encourage people to highlight the good works they do in their community. So if you are participate in supporting charities or your causes that you're passionate about, those do really well in posts. But again, I think it's a type of thing where you're like, all right, if you were going to go shop for a business or a professional service provider, what would you want to see them talking about there? And so again, it's the reviews stuff. It's other people singing your praises, the good works you do. Can I get a deal? Like, if I get a deal by coming to clicking through the post? And the more that you can motivate people to engage and click, the better, I think. And so, give them some kind of incentive to click into the post.
Can I just add one thing? Really
quickly.
We often, when you have a service area business or you just provide services, it's often helpful to talk about that specific service and link to the page, but use this phrase in there, location, and then whatever the service is that you're talking about. Because again, those get picked up in justifications. Like New York, I don't know, painting contractor, looking for a New York painting contractor, talk about your services, link to that page. But Google, but again, that's someplace that Google picks up justifications for.
Sterling Sky say use emojis in your subject line, in your headline. Use an emoji.
Yeah, until everyone does it. Yeah. That is absolutely fantastic. There were so many gems in there, but they just need to be unpicked. So I just want to say a huge thank you to the four of you for being our first panel today, and an absolutely lovely panel to host. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Claire. It's been a pleasure. And
thank you, Claire.
Thank you. Great work.
Bye.